Okay. Prochor Moshnin was born on July 19th, 1754. His parents, Isidor and Agathia Moshnin, lived in Kursk, Russia. Isidor was a merchant. When Prochor was 7, he fell out of the top of a bell tower, out of the bell tower of his church, but he wasn't harmed at all. No pain, no broken bones, nothing. When he was 10, he became seriously ill. While he was sleeping, he saw the Virgin Mary, who promised to heal him. Some days later, there was a procession with an icon of the Theotokos. Because of construction, the procession took a route which had them go by Prochor's house. At this point, Prochor had been sick for months and was practically dying. But as soon as the procession went by his house, he was completely healed. His father wanted him to join the family trade of being a merchant and help in the shop, but he wanted to become a monk. When he was 18, and that's what happened as soon as he turned 18. His mother blessed him with a large copper cross, which he wore over his clothes the rest of his life. He then entered Seraphim monastery as a novice. From day one in the monastery, he barely slept at all and only ate once every day, and he didn't eat at all on Wednesdays and Fridays. Soon he became severely ill again and was forced to spend the next 3 years in bed. Prochor was again healed by the Theotokos, who appeared to him in a vision accompanied by several saints. Pointing to the young man, she told the Apostle John the Theologian he is of our lineage. Then, touching him with her staff, she healed him. In 1786, after 9 years of being a novice, he was finally officially tonsured a monk. He was given the name of Seraphim, which means fiery or burning. A year later, he became a hero deacon. He spent all of his time except for the shortest of rests in church, and was soon made worthy to see the angels. In 1793, he was made a priest and asked to become the spiritual leader of the Tiveva monastery, after which he served every day for a year. Saint Seraphim then started to go more and more often into his little hut until he became a hermit. During this time, he almost achieved perfection. Wild animals, rabbits, foxes, wolves, even bears came to his hut. One day, he went out to chop some wood, but then some thieves came to him and asked for everything that he had. Although he was very strong at the time and had an axe since he was chopping wood, Saint Seraphim put down the axe and didn't resist them at all. He just gave himself up to them. They began beating him with the handle of his own axe until they thought he was dead. But the only thing they found in his hut after all of this was an icon of the Virgin Mary. When the thieves were caught, Saint Seraphim made sure that the thieves wouldn't get punished, even though they gave him a hunch in his back, which he kept his entire life. Soon after he was robbed, he got onto a rock and just prayed for 1,000 days and 1,000 nights without moving, without eating, without drinking, just praying. After he got off, he began admitting people into his hut for advice and direction. Thousands of people came to Seraphim, who enriched them with his spiritual treasures. Everyone saw him as meek and joyful. He greeted everyone with the words, "My joy, Christ is risen," then prostrated before them and kissed their hands. To many he advised, "Acquire a peaceful spirit, and around you thousands will be saved." He didn't need the visitor to tell him about themselves, because he could see what each one had on their soul. "Oh, if you only knew," he once told a monk, "what joy, what sweetness awaits a righteous soul in heaven. You would decide in this mortal life to bear any sorrows, persecution, and slander with gratitude, in order to not lose by any chance that heavenly joy which God has prepared for those who love him." As extraordinarily harsh as Saint Seraphim was to himself, he was always gentle and kind to others. He reposed while kneeling before an icon of the Theotokos in prayer. The church commemorates Saint Seraphim on January 2nd, and the opening of his relics on July 19th. Here's a picture of the monastery that he was in. And here is some holy ground from the monastery.
Wait, in that thing?
In it.
Wow.
There's a little bat. to be able.
Did you tell us where Seraphim is?
What?
Did you tell us where Seraphim is?
Oh, it's in Russia.
Which part? Isn't it kind of a northern area? I know it's in woods. Is it in like
I'm pretty sure
more northern
it's
Russia?
in some village somewhere. I don't really know.
It's a big one.
Any other questions?
Oh,
Wait, did you need that?
Hannah?
How did he fall out of the bell tower?
I don't know. He was 7.
He was
so
7.
Yeah, I think it was an accident.
7-year-olds can make some pretty weird decisions.
Ethan, you're
Gracie?
when you said that he prayed for 1,000 days, so he didn't drink or eat anything.
I don't think so. Caleb?
Do you know how many years that was?
2. Around 3.
Almost 3.
Did you know Seraphima is a female name of Seraphim? You guys all know that?
Is that your patron saint? Yes.
Do you know what it means? So I like that story, how he had the vision of the Theotokos and St. John. She said, he is of our lineage. Can you explain that?
Well, maybe the Theotokos just knew that he was a holy man and completely devoted to God.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, that the Theotokos and St. John also were, we talked about how full of love they were too, like their dedication to Christ and their tenderness of Christ.
Any more questions?
What does lineage mean, Gregory?
Lineage would be like, if I said that someone's of my lineage, then that would mean that I would be their ancestor.
Okay.
Anything else?
Very nice job. Thank you.